Sooner Scoop HD.
26 days till the spring game. Just remind y'all, in case any of you forgot, have amnesia. All right, big day for us. We're gonna have just so y'all know, the Baker Mayfield will do his presentation at halftime that day, and as opposed to after the game. I think maybe it was discussed that it would be. And then, as y'all know, it's a huge day for us for recruiting. You know, we're gonna need all of our fans, and gonna have to fill that place up, man. Bring your families and have a good old time. So with that, I'll just open this up for questions.
Okay, let's start with Ryan Aber, the Oklahoman.
Yeah, Brent, let me start off with your defense. How do you feel like that install is coming along to this point, and especially how do you feel about that linebacker group?
Yeah, as far as the installation, in typical fashion, you lay it out there and you have a pretty aggressive installation pattern on paper, and then you start working and practicing, and you slow down a little bit. And so for all the reasons you can go down, like whether you're somewhere and you're returning and you have a foundation set and you have a culture and you have a lot of experience coming back, that's how it always is. Or the flip side is when we're trying to learn. We've been watching these guys out of their helmets, in T-shirts and shorts for 8 weeks, and now you get who's in what jersey numbers. I'm calling them by their jersey: 26, 29, 1, 77. Who are these guys? And so never as fast as you want it to be installation-wise, but we had an aggressive game plan and just making adjustments as we go in typical fashion. And at linebacker, don't have great depth there. I just want to make sure I got this down here. We have 12 returning starts at linebacker, so not much experience there. But it's a group that's really hungry. We've got good enough players there to play at a really high level. We just got to get them in the right spots. They're on the bus right now. We got to get them in the right seats, and see who can separate. At the end of the day. So it's been a good first couple of days. So you want me to talk about, you want to ask about individual guys there, or
Well, I mean,
just generally speaking?
The main thing I was wondering about some of the new guys.
Yeah.
Fitting in with that group.
Yeah, so between Trey and TD and Jaron and Kobe and my East Texas 10. Kip, that group. I think, is there anybody else? I think that's it for as far as new guys there. Again, they're runners and they're hitters. Really, again, obviously TD and Trey bring a lot of experience. They've played a lot of football, started a lot of football games, and have played at a high level. And so getting our packages together and things like that is where we're at with those guys. And the young guys, just teaching them. There's a language barrier for everybody, but particularly that can stunt your growth as a young player. You haven't played much football, and so the older guys have an advantage there, obviously, and the younger guys have been, again, very eager and have flashed, have shown some the ability, and now we just got to make sure that we keep things simple for them, meet them where they're at, and help them along. But I've been pleased with them as well.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Come to this side, Eric Bailey, Tulsa World.
Hey, Brent.
Hey.
I want to ask you about a player like someone like Billy Bowman, who started last year at nickel, moved to corner, and really kind of just disappeared late in the season. What's it like when you're dealing with a youngster who played as a true freshman, and now getting kind of a fresh start with this new staff? Just early impressions of him and just his journey, and there's probably a lot of kids that have this similar type of journey.
Yeah, Billy's a guy, I get why he was played. I played 3 positions last year as a true freshman. Incredibly talented, great instincts, tremendous skill set, great toughness, very intelligent, can do a lot of things, and we're just trying to get him to be really good at one thing. And sometimes when you do too much too soon, everything's neutralized, all your ability, your instincts, your intelligence, and most of the time that's that way for freshmen. You got to be that dude, like a generational kind of a person, to at any position to pick up everything right away. And I think he was, for injury and things of that nature, he had to be forced in action at different spots. And so we're really trying to have him focus at safety and put him in a position there where he can play in space and use his ability, cover a lot of grass and plays man technique, all those types of things. And he's had a really good start. We're third finish through spring ball after today's practice, just like that. And we got 8 left and counting. So every moment matters, whether it's meeting, it's walkthrough, it's Indy, it's team separate, it's good on good. And Billy's hungry. He's got great maturity to him, great focus. He's hard on himself, very demanding, on top of being really skilled. So expect huge things from him, and whether how he finishes up the spring, going into the summer, going into next fall, his development, which has been trending, the needle moving in the right direction, will allow us to have some position flexibility with some other guys. So,
Okay, we'll stay right here. Jesse Crittenden, Norman transcript.
hey Jesse,
Good to talk to
you too.
Wanted to ask you about Trey Morrison, obviously a guy that had a lot of experience at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like him coming in, what do you hope to see from him during spring ball? A guy that has that much experience, and what does he bring to that room?
Well, I mean, again, he's not up here and down here and up here and down here. He shows up with a consistent mindset, knows how to respond, can more quickly take a new language and translate it to what he understands in regards to football 101, and which should expedite his development schematically. He's playing with I don't know, he's got a cast like right here, so he's immobile. So that's a tough thing for any DB type position, because you're in man or zone and tackling and all those, getting off of blocks and all the perimeter screens. But love his mindset, love his attitude. He's been really good. He's really good teammate. Just has a maturity about him, like you would hope, a lot of the transfer guys do. And he's has showed up here with no entitlement whatsoever, and is completely bought into what we've asked him to do. So really been pleased. Those are the things that we hoped that we would get from all of them. And but he's done a great job with that. And again, he can play in space. Got a really good skill set too. He's a tough kid, and plays fast. And like I said, he's got one arm tied behind his back right now, but has done a really good job.
Second row, Mason Young, OU Daily.
Brent, back to the spring game. Last year's setup was kind of different in that it was just like the offense running repeatedly, very quickly against the defense. Have you thought about how you're going to structure that? Is it going to be a more traditional scrimmage, or what does that look like?
Yeah, we'll figure that out as we continue to move forward. And a lot of times that just depends on how the spring goes. You got your thoughts on what you're experienced with, and our depth and development will determine that. But it'll be a fun time, and everybody will be able to watch us and evaluate us in some kind of capacity, running, hitting, catching, throwing, sacking, all those kind of things. So really haven't made a final decision with that.
John Hoover, SI Sooners.
Brent, last week a bunch of guys from the offense came in and talked about Dylan. Are people gravitating to him at this early stage of him being here? Has it already begun to happen? Does it naturally happen because he's the quarterback, or is he bringing in special quality that allows guys to come in?
Yeah, he's got, to me, in my opinion, he has those special qualities. He's very humble, and he's not loud and braggadocious and making any kind of proclamations. He doesn't need to, and he does it with his work, his competitiveness, his toughness. Obviously, he has street credibility with the players because of what he has done at a high level. And then all he's done since he's been here is work. And he inspires, he encourages, he leads by example, takes responsibility even when it's not his fault, like the good ones will do. And again, just brings out the best in people. So both sides of the ball, he's been great. He's been, like I said before, he's been a pro in every way.
Chris Billis, Sooner Scoop.
Yeah, Brent, you were here when Drake Stoops was much younger. What's it like watching him grow up and now getting a chance to coach him?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It reminds me of just being around my own sons and knowing, what their dreams are, and watching them as little kids, pretending they were the Mark Clayton, and some of those guys that we had, some amazing players. And so it's a reminder to me, that these are people's kids, and they're on their journey. It's not all about just winning. And there's more to it than that, but you can help facilitate all their dreams on and off the field. And so for me, it's a reminder too. His dad's around here. He's got a statue out front, and it's the reason I was afforded the opportunity originally to come in the first place, because of their family. And but what I love about Drake Stoops, you'd never know. One of the most humble, hardworking, tough. He's a high performer. He over-delivers with everything, and on and off the field. And, you've seen other young people in his position have a sense of entitlement and, want something for nothing, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Just a great person, a great teammate, and, thankful that he's, on our squad, and he's a baller.
Go to the table on the far right, Benny Carlson.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, Jenny.
Watching you today, and I know some last week in practice was open, your involvement's a lot on the defensive side, which we would all assume, but I'm sure head coaches you've played under have been different. I would guess Bill Snyder maybe wasn't in the middle of drills like you were today and are. Do you find yourself that's where you naturally gravitate towards? Do you sense that maybe that's a springtime thing? And I'm not saying it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. Is that sort of how it's been for you?
Well, obviously I have, great experience over there and trying to foundationally help set some standards and be an additional set of eyes and ears and blocking dummy, and I'll do whatever, that's my expectation. Everybody's the same way to make things efficient. Everybody's got 20 hours a week right now, and we've got to make the most use of those 20 hours. And that's really my involvement reasoning is because I know what extra hats can do, extra bodies, extra voice, and try to get guys to shortcuts as quickly as possible from a development standpoint and learning standpoint. And I love to do that. I love getting dirty and getting dirt under my fingernails. That's a good thing. It's a fun thing. Early on, Coach Snyder was over on the offense a lot, but also did a great job of managing all of it. Whether you're managing trainers and equipment people, and so you're trying to make sure from a structural and organizational standpoint. There's always little things to correct and make it better, and so you got to be very mindful and aware of those things, really first and foremost, and then secondly, coaching, making sure that you're coaching the efficiency of the drills and of the coaches themselves and what we're doing. A lot of times they don't realize things, and so you're just constantly putting notes and things of that nature. But I would imagine it'd be like probably a normal 65-35. At any particular practice. I don't take any of it for granted, and give your help when you need to. But that's what I know intimately well, and try to spend quality time with the offensive guys off the field, meeting rooms and things of that nature too.
Let's come middle, James Hale.
Hey, Brent. You had a great player at Clemson in Simmons that you developed and became a first-round draft choice. He seemed to be kind of a hybrid player that you moved around. Do you have some guys that you maybe see a Simmons in the future? Do you have you have some guys that rush in, Clayton Smith, and Canick's an amazing athlete. You have some Simmonses coming, you hope?
Yeah, you always hope that you recruit to that, and right now, just say for example, you use Isaiah, because I don't want this to be looked at or evaluated the wrong way. Isaiah came in and things were already established for a good while foundationally in the program. I think his first year might have been like 16. Well, national championship's already been won, played in multiple, had multiple number one defenses in the country. So, you could find a guy that could just do like that and everything else is already set, so to speak. So we'll see. We didn't figure him out until, he redshirted his first year and then played some backup safety his second year, and he doesn't start his first game till his third year. He showed up, he's 6'4", and he's still freaky, but he had a lot of development to do. Like I said, it's a developmental game. In the fourth year, he wins the Butkus and first team All-American and whatever. He's 8th pick in the draft. So, that's just watering that bamboo. We got plenty of guys that are very talented that just need some more watering. There's a process to it. And right now, we're, again, not to put the cart, before the horse, we're just trying to get them lined up right now and find a position that they're at, let alone playing multiple positions right now.
Time for 2 more. Brandon Drum.
Hey, Brent.
Hey, Brandon.
Can you talk about the development of kind of Walker? Just kind of, obviously, he's another one of the new guys that's coming in. Just how fast he's picking things up. If you've seen any growth or a lot of growth in the first 4 or 5 practices y'all have had. And can you talk about the story behind the mic that you used during the practice?
Okay. With the mic, you can't hear me. I can scream all I want. And somebody allowed them to have music at practice. So I gotta scream over. That was me. That was funny. It was really funny. I let him have music at practice. No, so I gotta try to be efficient. I can't be everywhere at once until that group over on the other field's got to hear me. Just trying to be efficient. Maybe just as last reminders. And of course, you lose your voice to a certain degree as well. So that's the story. No, I'm not trying to be demonstrative or, I'm in charge. That's not who I am, but just trying to be efficient, make sure everybody can hear, and we're doing a good job of communicating and just reminders nonstop. But Kenai's doing terrific. He's big, okay? He's really fast, and he's got some great toughness to him. Hadn't played a whole lot of football, played a little bit as a true freshman. He's got a tremendous skill set, very talented, and he's a patient player. For young guys, usually one of the things that they don't have is patience, and so they get in a hurry with everything. And to be a really good corner, you got to play with great patience in your fundamentals and your technique. And so Coach Valai's done a really good job with him thus far, and Kenai's worked really hard. He's actually, again, just through a few days, doing a great job and giving us some competitive depth there. And he's going to make us better. And he's got to stay healthy and continue, that trend in the right direction. But I really like where he is for a young guy that hasn't played a whole lot of football, with not only his size, but his fundamentals and his techniques and how hard he is on himself. He's a tough kid and hard to satisfy. Mm-hmm.
Last one, part of that, Barry Tremble.
Yeah, Brent, you talking about Bowman and trying to play different positions. Is that harder than ever? We didn't do it forever. And then 22 years ago, you guys at K-State had Chris Candy and did it. OSU had McQuarters. You guys here had Woolfolk. Now it's going back out of fashion. Why is that? Just too difficult?
I don't know if it's that's a great question. I think there's more intricacies on just listening to the question and really thinking it through. Offenses are much different now than they were then, obviously. Whether it's just the no huddle or all the moving parts, I think it's probably a little more difficult for a young person to know both of those systems, both sides of the ball. You see more and more kids that are playing only one side in high school, and back in the day, the best players stayed on the field; they didn't leave the field, and so probably less exposure on the front end coming in, and probably coaches just getting lazy, not taking advantage. I don't know. When you got special players, it's a great thing to have. For us right now, we're just trying to help a guy like a Billy just to become, dominant at one position, get him to that point. And to me, that's what, when have seen people do that, whether it's Chris Canny or, or is it R.W. McQuarters, right? Yeah. They establish themselves on one side of the ball first, and then you found ways for them to continue to help the team. So we'll always be open to that. And whether it's on one side of the ball and playing them at multiple positions, or again, having a guy that really has that unique skill set, really special skill set to play on both sides, I'll always be open, for that.
Sooner Scoop HD.